I am your host, Doug Johnson. My esteemed colleague, Bob Galletti, is here. And the Bearded Wonder is on the show.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
It's
Mr. Michael Cole.
It's getting some growth.
It is. It's getting a little rise in the Levi's.
Yeah. I like it.
Now if I can just get the Gandalf going, I'll be good to go.
I think you should keep it trimmed and tight, but down.
That's the plan. I'm trying to do the. That's why you see it thinner on the sides than it is right here. I'm trying to get that 300 look.
Yeah, that way. Yeah, I like that.
But just kind of like a Southern 300. I got the six pack here, just under the keg.
Kind of a well-fed 300.
That's right.
Like a retired 300.
I can still kill, but let me get off my lazy boy first.
Yes. I like it. So we're back in our studio here at Westside Chevrolet.
Live from Westside Chevrolet.
That's right.
Thunder Road Show brought to you by DaVinci Carburetors, Mosier Engineering,
Nitrous Outlet.
Nitrous Outlet,
Yep.
and Westside Chevrolet, and Phil's Trailer Sales.
Hoorah.
So, I tell you what,
Guess what?
I got a Phil's trailer out in the parking lot. Did you see that big bad boy?
That thing is gorgeous.
It's black and it's dirty and it still looks good.
And it's not even a trailer. It is rolling, movable art that you can put your car in.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you got a black enclosed trailer, it's movable art.
That's right.
Boom.
And it has trailer brakes. That's nice.
That's a nice thing to have.
And the truck that I got from Speed Tech, thank you, Jose Jimenez, has trailer brake controller.
Speed Lab Creations.
Speed Lab Creations.
Boom.
Yeah.
What's up, Jared?
Did I say something else?
You said Speed Tech.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's close enough for government
Speed
work.
Lab Creations. Where did I get that from? That's a nitrous system.
Michael
Did not get a
Anderson,
truck.
we didn't fire Doug. He said he thought Doug was fired.
No, I was just MIA. I was doing some soul searching in the mountains of New Mexico.
Zoc Abram, he's starting it already. Look at him.
Peyote was involved.
So he says, so instant green or nah?
Oh, God, here it
Nah.
comes.
He liked my title. Zoc, did you like my title?
I didn't see it.
So, wait, I got to share this on my page, not on High Tech Corvette.
Oh shit! Yeah, let's go ahead and share that.
Yeah,
guys.
everybody needs to share this. We're gonna have a great show. We have Dan DaVinci in the house.
EFI Delete Man himself.
Yes,
Yeah.
on the property. We're gonna have Clay Millican on. Talk a little bit of NHRA Top Fuel coming up, and then Wes Buck. We're going all positive. All three of those guys are
Wes Buck, the one and only.
the one and only
Awesome.
live. He's live from L.A.
Live from LA.
So see, they're over there doing some conference stuff, and Brian Lowens is there, and Brian Lowens is like, "Sorry, dude, I'm busy," and Wes Buck is like, "I'm on it."
Nice.
Dude,
Skype
that
from
is
his
great.
phone.
In the clutch.
That
So-
is great.
Yeah, so we're gonna go completely positive, Pro Tree style.
Okay. I don't see no Skype camera. Where's that bad boy at?
It's probably in my bag.
My clipboard's out in the truck, so it's okay.
Yeah, right. So, but we're gonna talk a little bit about last weekend's events, the weekend before that's events, and the week since I've been gone. I was gone like 3 weeks in a row,
Right.
and we had a snow day last week that canceled the show. Michael Cole was definitely afraid of the ice and the snow.
Horsepower and slicks do not add.
Well, that's what you get for buying a race car to drive every day.
No. Listen.
For a daily.
Yeah. People ask me all the time, why do you daily race car? And it's pretty simple. It's because I race it daily.
Oh, that makes sense. Touche.
Now you
Just
know.
like that.
Now
you
I
know.
know.
Just like that.
I like to party.
There you go.
I think we y'all are a little far out of the reach. You're like on the edge of the thing. Does it look okay,
I
Brian?
know. I'm like cutting half my
Okay.
piece off.
In this thing, it looks funny.
Boom. That looks better.
I
So,
can already see the comment section. People are complaining about not being able to see the beard.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Nobody is complaining about not being able to
Lies,
see the beard.
lies, guys.
So, me and the beard took a ride to San Antonio
Yes, for Street Outlaws Live,
to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
the new
pretty cool.
season of the new series starts to air March 7th
Right.
on Discovery Channel. I said this all weekend long on announcing this deal.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a sneak preview February 24th. I think I said 27th a couple of times, but February 24th. And it is the Outlaw Armageddon episode.
Dude, here's what I can tell you. I have never seen so many people at San Antonio Raceway.
ever.
And it was the craziest thing. It literally was like God parted the seas. Because when we were going up there, I was telling them, like, no one's going to come to this.
Yeah, it was
no
misting
one.
all morning.
It was
all
bad.
the way up there.
Yeah, it was nasty. When I got there, they had put me up in a hotel, a really nice Holiday Inn Express.
Kames J. How are you?
And the people from Mexico that are watching this?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Gracious.
so I was like, man, this is nasty.
Yeah.
I had a 30-minute drive to the track, and I had a hotel. That was, I guess, the one they got for all the production staff.
Yep.
And so I was like, man, this blows. And then it cleared up enough to get, what, you don't like my Buc-ee's?
You're blocking the screen, bro.
So, but it turned out a pretty good event. You know, there was some issues, some wrecks and stuff that caused the moisture. It just got too late in the day, and the moisture took over, which can happen in Texas in the winter when cold air's moving down and humidity's here and
dew point.
Well, that track is known for about 10 o'clock at night. You better be finished or you better have cars running up and down the track a lot.
Yeah.
Often.
How many times have you raced there, you think, Bob?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. 20, 30, something like that.
Yeah, and even in pro mod races or top sportsman or whatever you're running, you have that issue, right?
Yeah. You got to get the show done, or don't plan to run late. Like the IHRA stuff, you're done Saturday night by 8 or 9 o'clock at the very latest, and you finish the race on Sunday or do another race on Sunday. So
yeah, and the
there's
weather,
no need to finish on Saturday.
the weather did not look good for Sunday either.
No.
So what they did is I believe they took half the money and divided it amongst the 8 that were left in the Invitational.
Okay.
And then the rest of the money is going to go to the next event, and then they're going to run out for points the race on Friday.
Right.
And then Saturday starts the next events, which is scheduled to be February 9th and 10th at South Carolina Motorsports Park in Orangeburg, South Carolina. You ever been there, Bob?
Yeah.
What was that track called originally?
It's always been Orangeburg, I'm pretty sure.
But it was called something else because the South Carolina Motorplex or whatever is a new name.
Oh, it was just Orangeburg Drag Strip.
Orangeburg Drag Strip?
That's one of the birthplaces of actual, real pro mod racing.
Well, is it really?
Yeah, if you look at some of the old pro mod videos, they're from there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
So Michael, you've been to a lot of car shows, a lot of, done some live stream at our races that, that have happened at Royal Purple. What'd you think about this from your perspective? Not being a hardcore drag racer like we are, you're more of a street car show guy.
What's up,
car meet guy?
Street racer / car show guy. I've been around it. Like I remember, the last time I saw Morello. I'm sorry. Wait, when Jared introduced me to Murillo.
Yeah.
I already knew about him because I was a big Super Street Outlaw guy back in the day. That was my thing. And when I mentioned, Dan Millen and Bob Glidden, and his eyes just
Billy
opened up
Glidden,
like, what? How do you know these people?
Yeah.
Because most of those people in there are so young that they didn't remember them.
Right.
So I really love that stuff because it's more applicable to everyday people. Like top fuelers and funny cars. They're fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. They bring a crowd, but it's just not very applicable.
So did you see my wave? Did you see it when I had the crowd do the wave?
I saw that. You had the
awesome.
yeah.
I have to give credit where
cheap
credit's
seats
due.
and then I was really impressed.
I had to give credit. Omar said, "Man, why don't you get him to do the wave?" And my first thought was like, "That's stupid. Nobody wants to do the wave." And I put it out there, and the crowd went wild. And I said, "All right, 1, 2, 3, y'all start down there." And they did it. It was amazing. They were
they felt like it was a competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did the other side, which was the smaller grandstands on the freeway side, and they did a good job too, even though it wasn't quite as full.
It was a throwdown, but I liked it. It's a lot of fun. I love stuff like that. I've always loved meeting all the people, and
Were you geeking over the equipment? Were you geeking over the equipment?
Some of the yes.
He was tripping on Jason Cantu's rear-mounted turbo.
Oh yeah.
Let's
go ahead, Bob. Go and play some of the footage that Michael got.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that bean footage needs to be rolled.
Yeah.
But were you geeking on the camera equipment that Pilgrim had there?
I like the Brian. I really like the big what is that arm that they use?
The boom.
The boom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd love to have a boom.
Now this is Matthew Frost's hood.
Check that out.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And if you can't see it, it looks like it's not layered, but it is. Like
it's a 3D hood, a 3D
it's about
paint job.
1/8 of an inch high. The flames. It's really, really cool.
And he drove all the way from Denver, Colorado.
Massive Pro Charger. I think it's
F3R.
an F3R. Yeah, it's stupid.
With a Steve Morris built billet, big block Chevy, billet valve covers.
All the money.
I mean, yeah, he spared billet intake. Matthew owns a trucking company in Denver, Colorado. He's not like Thrones of Gold type of guy, but he just anteed up and bought the best for this time around.
And it's obvious.
I mean, dude, look at that thing. It's just
Really
it should be an Autorama, not out there racing, prep.
That should be at SEMA.
Right.
Oh yeah,
That's a SEMA car.
look at that
all
Michael
the Pro
footage,
Charger
getting
stuff.
the close-up footage. That's really badass.
I wanted to show people the insides of some of these cars. A lot of people
There's
don't
Matthew
get to
there.
see a lot of the inside, so I wanted to throw some of that stuff in there.
And that's a beautiful car with a real dash and not a sheet metal dash and all that stuff in it too. It's got a basket around the back, Santa shock. So it was a cool deal. We wish, obviously, everybody wishes that it could have got done. There was an issue down on the big end with cleanup, and it just didn't happen.
That was a cluster to say the very least.
That's Kenjo's new Ford Falcon, and it's a small block Ford twin turbo, and it was competitive. He was in the last 8.
I loved this Corvette.
Hammerhead. Ruben Ybarra.
Yeah, the C2, God, so gorgeous.
And he was, Nitrous Outlet had DaVinci carburetors on it, and he's wearing the Hammerhead shirt right now. And he's still a very big supporter of DaVinci carburetors because his son's small tire car has them. Mm-hmm. His truck called Twisted has them. That's Dylan Wells' small tire car, who was in the Invitational because he's been kicking everybody's ass in the Invitational. He's raced his way in at Edinburgh and at Tucson and made a bunch of rounds on 2810.5s with a small block Ford and 1 turbo. And then Jason Cantu is now in the Invitational where he raced his way in at Memphis.
Yeah,
he's still in 8
that
cars,
car.
right?
That truck is absolutely nuttier than squirrel shit. I love the paint. I love that it's so unique.
He just took the roll-up electric windows and door locks out of it
Cool.
to take some weight out of it.
B-Rad.
B-Rad's, that's Brad Eglin's car. It's a super lightweight comp eliminator style car with a single DaVinci carburetor.
Yep.
I know that because I brought it back from Memphis when he blew it up. A cast intake and one kit. And he has a plate on it or something too, doesn't he?
No, it looks like it's a direct
It's
port.
just one
direct port.
one direct port fogger system. And he's very competitive for being such a simple combination.
Yeah. He does a lot with a little. He goes A to B.
Yeah.
Car, he was the only one who made it down under full power first round.
Yeah, and the grudge hits on the grudge passes, right?
Was that?
Yeah, it was the grudge sessions. That wasn't
yeah.
the first round, but that was the grudge session.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. First
And then
time
of course
out
we got
for
Roxy.
Roxy, Ryan
I
Halls.
finally got to see this car up close.
Yeah.
Ryan's always talking to me for a bit about it and whatnot, and I've seen pictures, and now I got to see it up close. It's
Got that Mike Henson 700 cubic inch Henson Racing Engines motor in it.
it's a pretty sick piece of kit. The
Car runs
Mistress
heavy.
is just just look at it. It's gorgeous. There's
Yeah.
not one bad angle to it.
Car runs real
And
hard.
he's got carbon fiber stickers.
I love it.
Hey, Bank, what's up, buddy?
We appreciate everybody watching. Go share this.
Maybe
Yeah.
instead of car
There's
reviews, I should do
Pamela
race car
Langen.
reviews.
I don't know which Pamela's waiting on. I don't know what she's tuning in for.
So I want to say I'm really
Tim
blessed.
Thomas.
Yeah, I'm really blessed. I got to announce that I've been hired for 2 gigs, announcing gigs this week.
Awesome.
February 17th, the Valentine's Day Massacre at Edinburgh. It's a 20,000 guaranteed to win small tire race. 28-10-5s, kind of a no prep style race, but it's actually going to be a prepped track, and it's going to be on a pro tree. So they're going to do some cool stuff down there at. Was that the end of it, or you just killed it?
No, it was the end.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. And then March 17th, which I'd already been booked for, was the Showdown Under the Lights, the Street Kings deal at Houston Motorsports Park.
Okay.
And then I just got hired by CarCraft Magazine to announce the Midnight Drags, which is they're combining the CarCraft Midnight Drags with the big car show they do every year during the summer nationals deal they do that CarCraft Magazine does, and that's a very historic event. The big car show, they'll have 200 cars there.
I was about
just
to
in
say,
the car
think
show.
of the sheer amount of volume that's going to be there.
Yeah, and so they're gonna have, it's gonna be prep track. They're gonna do a small tire class on 28s, quarter mile, scoreboards on. So they're gonna do a small tire type deal with 28-10-5s or 275 radials, quarter mile, scoreboards on.
Okay.
And then they're going to do a big tire, 8th mile, scoreboards off.
Cool.
So it's kind of a cool deal. And to be hired by CarCraft Magazine is
That's significant. That's not a joke.
Yeah, that's a cool deal. So, and then
Yeah, congrats.
then I got Coffeyville Street Drags twice this year, and I got as many Topma races as I can make it to that I'm not overbooked on.
Right.
So Topma is going to run the first of the month at Texas Motorplex, and then they're going to run the third weekend of the month at the new Extreme
Raceway Park.
in Galen Smith and Clyde Scott are building that.
Man, that place is really looking awesome.
It is.
The pictures, the progress is really coming together.
The cool thing, the building with the walk around porch that's going to be on it out there is going to be badass. It's a special building with suites that
Right.
will have a walk around porch on 3 sides of it.
Lots of racer friendly features about that track because there's racers
Building
building
it.
it and running it.
Yes.
So it's going to be something that everybody really likes. What's up, Aaron Anderson? How you doing?
So
Billy Ray
and
is
possibly be at the Street Outlaws filming in South Carolina on February 9th. I don't know what the deal is with that right now. That's still up in the air, but we'll see.
Yep. So we
Lots
are
of good
coming-
stuff going on. So yeah, we're coming to you from West Side. Is that what you're gonna say? West Side
coming
Chevrolet?
to you live.
Live.
West Side Chevrolet. You want to do a little Mosier deal?
Let's do a little Mosier deal.
I don't have my sound on.
Good Lord.
Let me fix
You know, one thing about Westside, you know that they're having $15,000 off the trucks?
Pickup trucks, yeah, dude. If you want to need a new truck, a new tow pig, come to West Side Chevrolet because $15,000 is
You
not.
might as well just be giving them away at that
Hey,
point.
and you're gonna do a walk around on a convertible Stingray.
Convertible C7Z06.
Proud sponsor of the Thunder Road
It's gonna be sick.
We want you to see what they have.
That's not what I thought it was.
Hey, dude, you should have just left it playing. That's the what-
Buttery smooth Monahan.
Yeah, buttery smooth Monahan. Now I have to do the read, and I'm not so buttery smooth.
Well,
Give
I
it
can
a-
do that, but I'm just not ready for it. You know what?
Well, hey, man,
It happens.
it happens. So in a
Give it a
few
me,
minutes
Mel.
here, we're gonna get to Clay Millican via Skype, and then we're gonna talk to Dan DaVinci and Wes Buck. So it's gonna be a great show. A little bit while we're reminiscing on the previous weeks. So I was at Dig Night Tucson, which was a great event. We had our Beyond 1320 event that was sponsored by Outlaw Race Engines out of Phoenix, Arizona. Paid $10,000 to win, and a local gentleman, and we were going to have him on the show last week, but because of the snow out, we'll get him on. This guy took this car and it had been retired for about 7 years. It was a beautiful green and white striped Nova, and he put it together. They tested it on the street in Tucson, and he came back and he ended up beating Cole Dow in the finals at that. And it Beyond 1320, which you'll see soon, is a crappy asphalt deal where you go down past the 1320 markers, and they raced. And Bodie put on one for $35,000 the weekend before, and then we had the one for $10,000 with a free entry, so you didn't have to buy your way in. It was $1,000 to get into Bodie's race, but and then
Here, give me this plug and it'll come through the show, won't it?
yeah,
Will it reach?
we'll try.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't work on yours,
Yeah.
so just
You're just going to have to read it, dude.
I can read it in maybe Sean Connery's voice or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or I can do
Sean Connery would be great.
That would be
Get him,
amazing.
get him the material. He can
Yeah.
read it off. He can read it here in a minute.
Moser Engineering.
Do it again.
Moser Engineering.
Oh,
If you want to win.
I think that just keep winging it, dude.
Yeah.
Mosier Engineering's got great products for sportsman racers. Can you do that?
Or I can. I do a really good. What was the British Prime Minister in World War II? Oh damn it! What's his name? I can do that.
Winston Churchill?
Yeah, Winston Churchill. Moser Engineering will fight them on the beaches. We shall drag them at the tracks. We will drag them on the streets.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
Don't make fun of the sponsors.
No, we're
I
not.
don't know. That's a good thing. You're talking about the quite possibly the most British person ever that look what the Gertz David did in World War II, and Mosier Engineering gets to be part of it. So you're welcome, Mosier Engineering.
Is that the same car you walked around last week?
I do not
No.
know if
Or
that's
3 weeks
the one.
ago? It's a pretty nice car.
Now it could use some Mosier Engineering in it. I mean,
Good.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of Mosier, Doug's got a nice 9-inch Ford Mosier
Yeah, I've got a rear end for sale with,
for trailing arm car.
for a body
Yeah.
with
Ah.
40 spline axles, rifle drilled, star flange, 5/8 race studs. It's narrowed an inch and an eighth. $1,600 and it's yours for both the rear end housing that's braced, has the fill and drain plugs, and the axles.
God.
So all you gotta do is find your own center section with 40 spline spool, and
You're in business.
you're in business.
and then
so-
cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war.
Yeah,
Sick. I wish I had a rear end in my car. My stuff's about to explode.
Mosier makes a badass setup for the C7, right?
They make a they do make
They
a
make a-
center, a 9-inch center section, and they have axles for it, and then for the C6
6 and C5.
they
make
have
a
a
12 bolt kit.
12 bolt kit that bolts in.
A bolt-in deal.
Yeah, it takes the IRS out, puts a live axle in those cars, and that's what.
If you want
Did you
to
play the commercial, the Mosier commercial, where you see Britt Cummings doing a
I
huge
can guarantee you,
Willie?
if even on my car at 700 tire, when I was working at VZ Auto Works, we had a solid axle C5, and it only made like 600 of the tires through an auto, and it would almost drag the back bumper everywhere it went. What am I saying about Mosier Engineering? If you want to drag the back bumper, call it Mosier Engineering.
Yep.
It's pretty simple. I don't know how to make it any simpler.
Made in America. Good
That's right.
products. What's up, Kirk Peters?
So Mosier Engineering is a proud sponsor of the Thunder Road Show, and we want you to see what they have to offer sportsman racer. Mosier is a company that has always supported sportsman racing with a strong contingency program, and they understand the sacrifice and commitment a competitive racer goes through to be successful. Mosier is a family-owned company that's been around for 4 decades and made up of 3 generations of racers that are committed to excellence, and they offer standard 2-day turnaround on custom-made-to-order axles, housings, and center sections. They also offer optional 24-hour turnaround on their products, including most custom-made-to-order parts. Mosier Engineering delivers when others can't. So whether you're a weekend enthusiast or serious points racer, Mosier has the highest quality products for all your race applications and will deliver when it's crunch time. Visit them on the web at mosierengineering.com or call 260-726-6689 and talk to their knowledgeable and friendly technicians. Remember, you will finish first with Mosier Engineering.
You know, that's pretty crazy when you think about it, that you can get a whole rear end ready to go in almost no time.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days. Yeah, they sent my whole housing was done and powder coated and shipped in 3 days.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome. And it was narrowed an inch and an eighth. I wanted the back bracing on it. I mean, so basically they have obviously have a 9-inch sit there with the drain and fill plug and back bracing, and then they shorten it, put the
Yeah, they
housing
put it on a
ends
jig and then they just bring
Yep.
it in.
and then done, powder coated and done. And they must be powder coating them in the South because you can't get shit shipped to a powder coater and done that quickly.
Right.
Well, you do
No, they
something
probably
long
do it
enough, you
now.
get good at it.
Yeah.
And clearly that's why you see so many Mosiers in some of the fastest cars.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yep.
So what's up, Matthew Slover, Jeremy, Judith K.
Judith K.
All right, so let's do this. Let's call Clay Millican. Let me get my Skype up. I'm gonna. It's wanting me to sign in. I don't know why.
And you don't know the password either, do you?
No.
Maybe it's
How he even leaves the house is beyond me.
I know, right?
Well, leaving the house is easy, but finding his way to the next place. So.
Yeah, I can usually get out of the driveway, but last night I hit a Mustang backing out of the driveway, so go figure.
Well, you probably saved a couple lives in the process of doing that.
Well, my buddy came over for me to look at his and parked behind me, and I had to take that big old long truck and turn it around to hook up to that big enclosed trailer, Phil's trailer, enclosed trailer.
Phil's enclosed trailer.
That
Yeah,
beautiful.
You know, we
beautiful
also
trailer.
got to thank Nitrous Outlet. Dave Vassar and his group do a great job, and they support Thunder Road Show 100%.
And I saw a whole bunch of Nitrous Outlet stuff at San Antonio.
Bo Brown, hey man, that was some awesome stuff that you guys were doing and he was doing, bringing the kids up there to the start line to let them watch the races and doing the drawings and stuff. And
Yeah, Bo Brown is B3 against bullying, and this guy has gone out with other people in tow to guys that are kids that are bullying and has approached them and talked to them about their actions and worked with them to curtail their actions. And it turns out the last one where he went live and the kid was not such a bully when, you know, Bo Brown, the dude with muscles on top of muscles, shows up, but also the other people that were there. And of course, a kid is going to be intimidated by a bunch of people coming to his door.
Sure.
Well, then there was some issues that the kid was, you know, there was somebody had created a fake Facebook account and made death threats against that same kid, and Bo was on top of it and got, you know, the cops got involved and arrested the kid who was doing the actual most of the nasty stuff and took care of it and put that situation to rest, and then brought some of the kids out that were either being bullied or doing the bullying and is working with them. And man, it's just a great program. And the Thunder Road Show Take 2.
that was the commercial break.
Yeah.
Yes. The intermission.
Intermission.
Yes.
It's
So-
all right.
We should have played that. Let's go all to the lobby.
So we lost internet there for some reason, and we're back now. So go please share this and let everybody know that we're back. We're going to go here with Clay Millican.
In a minute.
Yeah, I'm texting him and letting him know.
Here at Westside Chevrolet.
Yes, we're here at Westside Chevrolet. We have Michael Cole, the bearded wonder, and then my esteemed colleague, Bob Galletti here.
What's
Bob,
up?
real quick, there was a lot of debate about this instant green thing. Let's touch on that just briefly.
Okay.
There's a lot, everybody is an expert in this situation. Everybody has got a serious opinion about this. My opinion is, I think they need to go pro tree. I've thought that for a long time. Why are we having all this debate? Why are we having all this mess? I know that's the way it's always been, but it's now classes. There's classes involved. You have 6.0 classes, 7.0 classes, 580 classes, small tire class, big tire class. So it's class racing. It's just no prep class racing. Let's go to a pro tree where we don't have to argue about the damn tree anymore.
That's going to be the only way to do that. And what Shannon does with the 349 red deal is it makes it real. You got to really mess up to be red. I like that. I mean, that's a good deal, but
It's not going to work for TV, though.
why not?
I mean, because they're going to have to go explain that it's just going to look really sketchy for the people who don't know, aren't hardcore drag race fans, that are casual watchers of the show,
Yeah.
and they're going to be watching that show, and this guy got disqualified, or this guy won last round, but then he was disqualified, and it's going to look like to the people that are just casual watchers that they're putting in whoever they want. They already accuse Street Outlaws of faking the races, and staging the races, which the racing is not staged. I've been on set. Now, there may have been things in the past that made it look like it was arranged to their benefit, and there may have been things that were arranged to the benefit. I'm not there to say that that's above my pay grade, but what I am saying is that when we're at Street Outlaws Live, the racing is drawn on a chip or first round callouts, and they go at it like a regular no prep race.
Right.
Now, does the race master make mistakes? Sometimes, probably so.
Yeah.
In his judgment, any race master or any promoter or whoever's in charge that has to make those decisions, you've been in that position. You probably made mistakes when you were doing it for us at Lone Star Reservoir.
I don't think so.
Well, that's
I haven't made a mistake in a while.
yeah.
No. I think it's going to have to be either if you're going to race at the track and you're going to use the timing system, use it all the way, and you got to trust it. I mean, if a guy is 00 something red, yeah, it might, it might have been close, but that whole thing with Kai going red when he clearly left when the light was green was messed up because they moved the location of the bulbs, moved the green light to the yellow position, and that was probably a bad move. But I think if you want it to be as much as like the street as possible, use the racetrack like the street for its pavement. Let BJ or somebody get out there with a flashlight and flag it.
Well, the thing
if you want to argue every damn race, you're gonna.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to the tape for every race. But you know what? You can do that. And BJ made a point on that post in Tucson. There wasn't any problems, not one.
Well, the difference in it being that they set it for a 3/10 pro tree in Tucson. This one was set on a 4/10 pro tree.
No, I mean when he was flagging, didn't he flag some?
Just on the Beyond 1320.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, and the problem I have, so when a Beyond 1320, there's no V in the middle. There's no divider between the two cars there at the starting line where the tree is.
Okay.
At some of the facilities, we saw this happen in Edinburgh. There's a wooden box that's very sketchy to stand on because some areas weren't very well supported. So you're going to show up to a track because they don't race at the same track every week, and Chuck had to stand up on top of this box to do the flagging. BJ wasn't there. They weren't intended on doing it. The timing system crashed.
Okay.
Well, if he would have taken one wrong step, he would have fallen through the box. It would have caved in. If it would have been anybody bigger than Chuck, like me, I would have definitely caved in. So we saw it at Hub City, the season finale of Dirty South. They went to BJ flagging. He's on one side of the V. If a car breaks an axle, BJ's dead.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think that's unsafe. Really, if you're going to race the track, use the tree. Use the pro tree. Everybody, all these guys are smart. They know what they're doing with these cars, and they can set the car up so that they don't go red.
I've had 7-0 index racers talk to me about they're not allowed to run delay box, and they have to adjust the depth of their push button on their trans brake because the car will go red on a pro tree in a slow 7-0 car.
Yep.
And you have to get where your rollout is dialed in. That's why they roll numbers into a practice tree. Because you can get to where your finger is so fast that the light responds.
Well, now, you gotta compensate. Whether you do it with your car, or you do it with you mash the button harder. Or, there's things you can do. Like several people pointed out on the posts that have been going all over the internet, like their hair's on fire. But
and here's the deal. My opinion on the backup lights being on still. An incandescent light doesn't always go out at the same time you let go of the button. A trans brake will react really fast with a spring on it, and the bulb can stay lit because it's a glowing on fire string of wire in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm getting at? And so they don't always go out. You turn lights off in your house sometimes, and they slowly go out.
He may have not let off the trans brake button until he saw that bulb. But don't forget, that bulb was really a yellow light on a pro tree.
Yes.
And he bumped in a little bit deep, and his car's fast, man. and he made an awesome pass on that.
And you're talking about a
Yeah.
cell phone camera that may have kept
No, the cameras. I believe what I saw.
I'm just saying about the bulb.
You
and being
can,
on it is-
if you have a fast enough car, you can wait to see yellow, let go of the button, and be red.
Yes.
If you're deep, your car picks the wheels right out of the beam because his car, like I say, it hauled ass.
And the bulb can still be lit
The
when
thing of it
all
is,
of that's happening.
everybody knew from the driver's meeting what was done.
Yeah.
And, one person thinks that somehow this isn't right. This how many $100,000 timing system isn't right? How many times have we heard this before?
Yeah.
It's really old. I mean, it's like the dude's never really lost a race in his mind. And I appreciate thinking you win all of them, but you don't. And when you lose, you lose. You pack your shit up and you take your lumps and you go on. Sell some T-shirts, sign some stuff, and hug some babies.
Yeah.
So
It is the way of the world.
that's my rant on that. Where's our guy? We got him, or you want to bring Dan in?
No, I'm calling him right now.
Okay.
Well, no answer from Clay Millican.
In a pocket knife?
Uh,
That screw's about to fall out.
I just texted him that we're calling now. Let's try.
From Columbia River Knife and Tool, of course, and Snap-on.
Snap-on. They put their $100 on top of it.
Oh, Clay Millican's calling me.
Boom. Get her
Wait.
done.
And for 5 easy payments, you can afford this knife too.
Exactly.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You got to click. Hang on, I got to accept this. Clay, you may not be able to see me, but I can see you. How are you doing, my friend?
I am fantastic. And you, brother?
I'm doing great. Glad to have you back on. Just want to let you know that your picture's crooked behind you.
Man,
No,
what are you
it's my
OCD? What's up, Clay? It's Bob.
Hey, this is Bob. Bob Galetti's here with me. How you doing, sir?
Man, I ain't got a thing to complain about. Just hanging out, watching the high-tech Corvette. I'm just having a blast.
Back on the Thunder Road Show. This is like your third appearance on the Thunder Road Show, and we always have a great time with you.
Oh, I'll tell you, I've been having a really good conversation going on the side of the screen over there with a couple of buddies of mine that are watching the show right now. So I feel like I'm under pressure because one of the guys that's watching this right now is Ray Iddings, and that is who did the television show Pastime and Drag Race High, and so I feel like, it's like a little bit of pressure for me to be good tonight.
All right. Hey, I loved Pastime, and the burnouts never lie.
Exactly.
You know how many I've announced a couple of Street Outlaws filmings for this new series that's going to air March 7th, and I've said that a couple times, but I'm tried to give credit to Pastime where credit is due.
Oh, I tell you, Ray kept that show at the #1 spot for a long time, and I mean, it was a fun show. And you got to admit, every one of us, when we see a car line up, we kind of, in our mind, we're trying to figure out what's that car going to run. That's just what we do when we're at the racetrack.
For sure. And I loved seeing the different combinations and when a guy would go down or when a guy wouldn't go down. But I have to say, my favorite episode of Pastime ever is when Randy Jackson brought out the T-shirts with the Sleeper Mustang. Do you remember that?
There's a lot of really good cars on there.
Yeah. That was the one where he made it out like it was a bolt-on 5.0 Mustang, and it had a motor, and it went 870s, and everybody was guessing 1220s, and they were pretty mad that he fooled them.
Yeah, and he lifted the front end off the ground.
Yeah, it toted the wheels for about
It had
80
stock
feet.
wheels on it.
Yeah.
I think it was smaller than a 10.5-inch tire. It was
something
itty-bitty.
small.
I think that was really what they were thinking with the show when they decided to put it out there, was to trick everybody like that, so to speak.
And then some of the people didn't know the right
That
questions
thing
to
was
ask. When
that
I
thing
saw
was
it,
a
I
great
think
sleeper.
it had 3
Look
fuel
at
pressure
Ray.
regulators
Ray
on
says, Ray says he lied.
I love it.
That's great.
So what do you got going on? You got some testing going on in a week or two, or what?
Yes, I will leave here. When do I leave? Like January 30th. We'll fly out to Phoenix and then stomp on that loud pedal, brother. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we will be getting after it. It is nitro time. And I tell you, I cannot wait for the new season to get started. And I mean, it's here. Doug, you've been at racetracks all over the country. It hadn't slowed down for you, but for us, we've actually had a little winter here in Tennessee, and man, I'm ready to go out west. Hopefully it's warmer.
Yeah, right. Well, we were just in Tucson for I was there for 11 days and hanging out with Jim Hughes, and it was nice, but man, it gets cold in the desert at night.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, we did the protest session there at one point, and it definitely gets cold at night, but it is nice during the daytime. And same thing kind of happens in Phoenix, but it'll be interesting. You know, everybody is certainly ready to go. Tons of nitro cars. Basically, everybody will be there, and it is going to be a awesome few days of testing, and then we roll right into Pomona.
Hey, so I imagine that test session is almost like a no prep race where it feels like family, and y'all don't have all the pressure and all the media stuff to do and all of the fans around, so you can kind of hang out with each other, just car guys, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is. Actually, Saturday, it will be open to the public. They'll sell tickets, and we'll run side by side. And truth is, you know, it's funny. You know, I don't hang out with a ton of those guys. I'm not part of that Brownsburg clique, so to speak. But I do got some buddies out there that I do enjoy hanging out with, you know. But for the most part, you know, it's the Stringer Performance team, and it's our group of guys, and I just hang in there with them guys, and I still love working on the car as much as they'll let me. Most of the time, they just run me off and tell me to go pack parachutes, mix fuel, and get out of their way.
Yeah, we got to go PRI. We were waiting on our flight, and it was me and David Bird Jones and Caitlin, his girlfriend, and Kayla Morton and Boosted GT, and Kayla set it up. We got to go see Steve Torrance's shop over there in Indy, and it was pretty cool to go hang out and look at all his stuff.
Oh, definitely, man. They've got a nice operation, no question about it. I mean, there is some massive shop areas over there in that Brownsburg area. If people have never been, I highly recommend you go by there. Most of the time, those guys will, you know, let you kind of look around a little bit, especially during the U.S. Nationals. There's an open house. I mean, I know Don Schumacher's always has an open house, and you talk about a factory. You roll into that place and look around, you'll be like amazed. I know we just bought a chassis from those guys, which is what we'll be running this year. When I go in that place, I went there to get fitted to the car, and I look around, I'm like, I'm racing these guys. What are we thinking? But we still go out there, and we're a pain in the butt to every one of them big teams every chance we get.
Absolutely. So Great Clips is back on, and talk about your other sponsors that you got for 2018.
Oh, yeah. Parts Plus is back. I think this is their 8th year. I mean, they have been an awesome partner and friends and family. I mean, it's a pretty cool deal. I mean, I can go down there pretty much anytime I want. I mean, they're only an hour away, and I just go down there and show up, and they've become just, you know, absolute family without no question about it. And Great Clips, this is their 4th year in drag racing, which is really awesome, and always got to keep my hair cut looking good as much as I can. And I show up at Great Clips all over the country. I just show up. You know, a lot of people think, man, you sure do have to get a lot of haircuts. I just do that. You know, I just pop in the hair salon, and sometimes they know me, sometimes they don't. But we have a lot of fun doing that.
That's cool. Sometimes you just got to go in and get the back of your neck shaved, right?
Oh, definitely. Not a doubt. You know, Anna tells me that every now and then. She's like, hey, it's about time to go get that fuzz trimmed off your neck. You know, so got to keep looking good.
So y'all got some snow last week in Tennessee, didn't you?
We did. I actually could not believe how much snow we really did get, and I snuck out with the old Polaris Razor and rode around a little bit, did some donuts, and kind of got some little wheel time in, and I love the snow. But the week before that, we got ice. I do not like the ice. It's no fun. You can't really drive in it, although I did get the Razor out in the ice, too. I had a lot of fun doing that, but you know, I'm ready for sunshine and nitro. I promise. That's what I'm ready for.
I imagine. Yeah, in Houston, we only get ice typically, but we got snow twice this year. And once I was at PRI, and this last time I was in Tucson. So I missed the snow days in my hometown both times this year.
Well, you lucked out on it, that's for sure. And no question about it. I mean, not making light of it or fun of it, but y'all have had plenty of water in Houston. You don't need any more for a while.
Exactly.
You got that right for sure.
So I imagine your team is very excited about 2018, coming off your first ever national event win, and just a lot of energy going into 2018. I mean, you had a lot of energy even finishing the season, but going into 2018 has got to be exciting.
They were qualifying number one nearly everywhere.
Yeah.
We would like to trade some of those number one qualifiers for some more win lights, without a doubt about it. But to be a very small single car team, we got our first win in Bristol. That was huge, very emotional weekend for me, without a doubt about it. We had a lot of number one qualifiers, and obviously the top of the list as far as qualifying goes was St. Louis this year. We set the national record at 3.63 seconds, which was an incredible run, and I know we can go quicker. The first thing we got to do is get ready in testing to see how this, Schumacher chassis works. We're not changing our combination, and thank goodness we have all the same people back. We did not change one single person. And people are our most valuable asset. That's something Grubby says all the time, our crew chief, and he's correct. I mean, so we got all the same people back. I expect for us to just hit the ground running wide open.
Very cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that I can make some of the events this year. We got to hang out a little bit at Ennis and a little bit at Houston, but right now I'm getting booked like crazy, so I don't know if I'll be at any national events, but you never know.
Well, I hope you are. That's for sure. I really enjoyed seeing you out there. Y'all had a little bit of no prep action going on at a couple of those races that, Shannon and Britt Cummins helped put on. I enjoyed watching those myself.
That's cool. You got to, Britt, Bob, I'm over at Memphis for the first filming of Street Outlaws Live, which is called, the new series called Street Outlaws No Prep Kings. And we're there, and it's late in the evening, and Clay Millican comes walking up the start line, hanging out with the Chief and Murder Nova and everybody that was hanging out up there. That was really cool.
Pretty cool.
Well, what's funny about that is we were racing in Dallas, and that's like an 8.5-hour drive or whatever it is. And I was texting with my sister Lee and my brother-in-law Cliff, and I said, what round are they in? And they're like, it's second round. So I left Dallas. I got my butt kicked second round. I left Dallas, got in my dually, pulling my little camper trailer. I drove all the way back to Memphis before they run the final round. So it was crazy. I rolled up there. Actually, they were just finishing up the semis when I pulled in the gate at Memphis. But it was pretty cool. I got to see my buddy Lutz. I was hanging out with Jeff, and Jeff had a really rough weekend at Memphis. I guess I'm not really supposed to tell what all went on. Everybody knows it was on the internet. It has to be true, right? So
yeah.
But I mean, it was cool, see everybody there, and was amazed that I drove 8.5 hours and they still hadn't finished the race. Long days, brother, announcing at those things is all I can tell you.
Yeah, we did two of the races I've done. I did Edinburgh and San Antonio, and we ran 2 days events in one day because of rain, and that's a lot of work.
Yes, long days, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That's racing, though. It goes that way.
Exactly. So, hey, man, we really appreciate. We wanted some positivity because there's a lot of. You've seen it on Facebook and stuff. There's just a lot of drama going on this week, and you're always such a positive person. Always have a great smile. So we appreciate the time, Clay.
It's funny you say that. I don't get all the drama. I mean, I want y'all guys to sit here and think about this. We are talking about drag racing. We're not talking about, something horrible that has happened, like Houston flooding, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
It's drag racing. We have the privilege in this country to go and do this. And I'm fortunate enough that I make a living doing it. And, drama creates a lot of buzz and all that stuff, but we don't need negative drama all the time. You know what we got to do? We got to enjoy our drag racing. We got to go out there and stomp on that loud pedal and just enjoy every moment that we get to do it, because you never know when it's going to come to an end. I mean, right now, drag racing is booming, and that creates a little bit of drama. But you know what? People are tuning in. They're watching. I know all the TV shows are up in popularity right now. NHRA drag racing on Fox Sports 1 was huge this past year. Everybody. It's not that big a deal. It's not the end of the world. It's drag racing. There's a winner and a loser, and sometimes things don't go the way that you want them to go, but just know this. We are fortunate to get to do it, and we get to sit here and talk about it. That's all I got to say about that.
Hey,
All right.
man,
Well said.
I
Sound
can't even
logic.
top that. We just got to end it there, dude, because you just killed it.
He
Drop the
drops
mic. But hey, man, thanks a lot. That was well said. And sorry you couldn't see me and Bob. I forgot my webcam, but hey, we'll have it on next time you come on, and we're gonna get with you after Pomona after that first race win.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank y'all guys for
All right.
letting me come on tonight.
Thanks a lot, Clay. Good
Thank
job,
you.
man.
All right, good job.
You know, it must be comforting being Clay Millican to know that if, for some odd reason, tomorrow drag racing dies, he can always be a motivational speaker.
Exactly. That's awesome. He's doing a great job. Let's get Dan in here real quick, and then we'll talk to Wes and give Wes the list, the end of the show. So, because we know Wes is going to be positive. He's making drag racing great again every time he wakes up.
So Dan had a really cool weekend.
He did.
Hey,
The Wheelie Master.
Dan
What's up?
DaVinci,
Yeah.
Dan the man,
that wasn't the plan.
the carburetor man. Man, I said there's more Dan DaVinci carburetors at San Antonio this weekend than there is than most people have seen in their lifetimes.
Yeah, we pretty much had the whole field. I mean,
Everybody that had a carburetor had a DaVinci carburetor.
I
on,
know,
didn't they?
right? Yeah.
There was some guys that are from that double S, double IPPI state that have some other brand carburetors, but
Yeah.
other than that, everybody that you know, most of the people out there. I mean, Ryan Hall's got DaVinci
Oh my
carburetors.
God, yeah, you don't want to start going down the list.
I seen a lot
Yeah.
of the new hoodies out there too.
Yeah.
A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
people representing.
Yeah,
Pam
yeah.
did a great job of getting those out there.
Yeah.
huh?
Love that nitrous outlet hat too. Dude.
Yeah, I got my nitrous outlet hat. He's a good sponsor. Phil's Trailer had a good conversation with Chad, and he's building me a Hallmark trailer. So,
Awesome.
you know, thank you, Phil. And, you know, I expect to get that. Hopefully, you know, I had got my own certain things, you know, and I mean, Chad's right there to, you know, to get, you know, I had certain things I wanted to put on it, and he's going to do that for me.
How
and,
big
know,
you getting?
I'm going to get 28 foot.
Nice.
Yeah, Hallmark. Yeah, I really like them. I got a Hallmark now.
Black?
And, no ovens. No, thank you.
Hey.
It's way too hot.
They
Yeah.
look good, but I can imagine in the summer they're pretty hot.
Yeah,
But you have to
right.
get AC on it.
Yeah. You know, AC, electric tongue jack, place for the generator. You know, it's got all that stuff anyway. But you know, yeah. So
Cabinets?
You know, big shout out to him. Oh yeah. It's
You got to be able to
nice.
work on carburetors while you're there.
Yeah, we're gonna try, but yeah, we had a good showing. I mean, you know, let me tell you how that thing kind of came around. You know, the week before we had this big ice storm, so of course we're gonna go. So you know, Tuesday we think, well, I still haven't got 28, so I call up James K. James K's got a set of 28s. He says, man, come get them. I got like 9 passes on them. You know, I mean, we're buds. I do his carburetors. Just come get them. And I'm like, cool. So I was going to go over and get them Tuesday. Well, we froze in Tuesday. We froze in Wednesday. I'm like, okay, well, Thursday, you know, I haven't been to work all week. You know, I've got stuff I got to do. I had to get Ryan Hall stuff out on Monday. And so Thursday, I got to work all day. I figure, you know, I'll run over and get them tires Thursday night. Man, you know, Ryan just got his motor together and he's testing at Evadale. Barry Sanders got his new car.
Barry Nichols.
Barry Nicholson got his new car out at Evadale. You know, say, man, can you come to Evadale? You know, 120 miles away. Here we go.
Yeah.
Off to Evadale. Stayed out there with my buddy Chris Domino, and we actually went and got a box for Barry Nicholson that night. Chris Domino had one in Australia. Went back, got that, got them guys all straightened. So here it is, Friday morning. I don't have any 28s, and I got to go racing. I'm like, well, load up. You know, we'll figure it out when we get there. So we got there, and didn't have any tires, and walked over. Chris Sievert had a set of tires. And I looked at him and I said,
The money magnet.
What do you? Yeah, the money magnet cracker. And I said, what do you want for him? He said, well, $150. I said, okay, great. I got him. And he's like, man, just take him. You done my carburetors on and everything. Just take him. I said, oh, dude, you're so cool. And so he gave me the tires to run on. So we're over there trying, and we're trying to bust him and everything. No, I can't do that. So it's another guy, and I can't remember his name, right across the way. He says, give him to me. And I was helping him on their carburetor earlier. Wasn't even one of mine. And so he took him, had him changed, and then came back in the morning. And then as I was putting the screws in, I drilled through the tire and got the tube, and then had to go over and, I screwed that up. But anyways, through all this melee, here we go. We're finally, in the driver's meeting, and I was like, man, Chris helped me out so much. I just got to return the favor. I'm calling you out first round. And so I called out Chris first round. So we're first two, the first two going down the track. And so
that's a favor, being called out by Dan DaVinci?
Well, he gave me the tires, so I figured I'd call him out.
Hey, well, yeah, that works, I guess.
It worked out real well because
I guess that's better than get paired up with like Dylan Wells with Texas Anarchy or something, huh?
I really wasn't too worried about who I was paired up with. I just know that he did me a favor, and I figured I'd return the favor.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's a favor or not. But I know he's pretty well matched. I knew it was going to be a good race.
Yeah.
And so that's what I came there to do: have a good race. And so we got into the lights, and there's a little bit of confusion because I rolled in deep and got on a converter, and there was a little confusion there. And so finally something happened. I don't even know which light went off, but if wind would have blown, I would have let go of the button. So some light went off, and I still don't know which one went off. But anyways, I let go of the button, and then I was sky high and rolling around. And
dude, that thing, I could have swore the pictures didn't look like it, but it almost looked like it was completely on the bumper with all four tires on the ground from where I was sitting. It was crazy.
There was absolutely no damage to the car. It's not like, if anybody races without wheelie bars, everybody's done it. So if you have power, everybody's been on the back bumper. So you get up and you pedal it one time, and then to get it coming down, and then you floor it, wide open, as you're coming down on nitrous and everything. And then that way it came down nice and easy, made a little bounce. And then I've already learned from a horrible mistake, you never turn the wheel while you're up in the air.
Yeah.
You always leave it straight until it lands, because if you do this, then that means you're going to wreck. At least that's what happened to me. So come down
even if
straight.
You're not going straight. Keep the wheel straight.
Yeah, you gotta keep your wheel straight. You can't turn it in the air, which is what you think. Oh, well, I'll turn. No, don't do that. Straight, come down, let it stabilize, then turn the wheel, and that's what I did. And
it already had moved over, because when it went up, it made a move over to the left, and then when you came down, you were headed towards that lane, so you crossed the center line.
Oh, absolutely.
But Chris had timed out, so the red light was what you saw from him timing out. But then they called for a rerun, and you said, "All right, I'll rerun it. That's only fair."
I came to race. I didn't come to.
Win by default. Yeah.
I come
timed out. You crossed the center.
Right. I came to bust his ass.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
It's
so
great
rerun.
that they did a rerun, because really, crossing the center is worse.
So the problem is by the time I got all the way around and I had to check the car out and do everything I needed to do, we didn't get everything we needed to get done to come back up. So the next time when we left, I had things turned down, but then he just got me because I just didn't have time to prepare for the next race.
He's also got a big block with a blower and nitrous.
Yeah, but I think if we would have had pressure and enough nitrous, I think we kind of lost it on the big end. You saw me pull out, and then I faded away, and there was a reason for that.
It's because of the mailbox.
Yeah.
Did you see it, Bob?
Yeah.
Dude has an actual mailbox instead of a plexiglass deal on top of his carburetors.
Right.
Pretty cool.
It is kind of goofy looking.
So
I was waiting
one,
on
they did a
Snoopy to
rerun.
climb out of it.
Yeah.
On that one, they did a rerun
Right.
instead of doing a first or worst. And there was
Right.
another pair where first or worst was not the rule used. It was first being red light, was it not?
Yes.
That was a little bit weird how that went down, but I guess it
I
got
think the
straightened out.
fact that Dan was willing to rerun it was the reason it was rerun.
Yeah, that's
Because that was all on Dan.
yeah.
He's a good dude.
Well, they said they called a rerun, and I didn't really know what had happened, to be honest with you. And I was like,
You went and talked to Chuck, and Chuck said,
Yeah,
well, you won, and they said, I'm going to rerun it.
I think there was some confusion there, at the starting line on Chris's part about what was, because I went in deep, because we're all allowed to go in. I purposely. Sorry, Chris. I purposely screwed with him, to go in deep and get on a converter to rattle him, and I rattled him, because
And he never went in.
yeah, because he thought it was courtesy stage, and I was going to pull back out, and he was waiting for me to pull back out so we could go back
Oh,
in.
you double bulbed him.
Yeah, I
went all
went
the
boom,
way
boom.
deep.
Yeah.
And I turned the top bulb off.
But nobody said that you had the courtesy stage. Nobody said you couldn't deep stage.
Well, no, it's courtesy staging is in effect. Well,
Right.
in the driver's meeting I don't know if
Yeah.
it was said in y'all's driver's meeting.
Well, I mean, there was some confusion there. He was waiting for me to pull back out
Yeah.
so we could pull back in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was him trying
Well,
to
obviously,
be nice.
He had a faster car than you, so you had
Oh,
to do
yeah.
something to get an advantage.
Exactly. I was
Right.
going to rattle him, but I thought he would pull in, and that's why I was on the converter for 8 freaking seconds. I was like, oh, as soon as I let off this thing, I know this light's going to turn green. So I just hung in there, and, I mean,
I said to the people I was standing with, watch, this thing's going to do a big, nice wheelie.
Oh, my
And I even said that over the
Yeah.
PA.
because it does. Yeah.
And- but I was like, as soon as it went on the bumper, it's like, oh no, he had to take his wheelie bars off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, small
Well-
tires, no wheelie bars. And
Yeah. We had it.
he always hits them really hard.
You know, the track was really sticky at the start line. It
At
was
that
a little
point,
sketchy
yeah.
down track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It got good
really
real
good.
fast in the first round.
Yeah, it was good on the start line right away.
There was some guys that did strike the tires in the first round. Though.
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah.
First couple pairs were definitely, sketchy.
I mean, there was some bare concrete showing, and I went up there and I looked at it, and I said, let's throw the kitchen, let's throw everything at it. I mean, this guy's faster than me. I mean, let's just go ahead on it. The last time I had 28s on it did not turn out that way. It was
Yeah, but you're on asphalt at NRG Stadium.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I just it was not the same. I did not know it was going to.
Just know you could probably put the wheelie bars on, leave the 28s on it, and run 580 class.
I'm telling you what, if I'd have had my wheelie bars on,
been-
he'd have had a run. If
Yeah.
I would have 60-footed like a madman. That thing was, we had it all turned up. We had tested the weekend before out at HMP. And by the way, there's a race this weekend at HMP on Saturday.
Yep.
Just to let y'all know. So
What
got
race
the
is it?
King's Holiday race.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming
Yeah,
up.
It was rained out from last week.
Right. So there is a race this weekend. Y'all come out. I'm going to go out there and a lot
They
of
gonna have
local
an
guys
index
are-
class for you?
Yeah, they got a 580 and a 70, and they got 1,000 on top, 700 on top, and then there's, I think some other classes out there. I'm just,
They got a shootout deal, right?
yeah.
Back
so,
half shootout.
Yeah, so we got
Should be
something going
pretty
on
cool.
this weekend. Yeah, hopefully the weather will hold out and we'll have a good race.
Yep.
Very
know,
cool.
Harry
They
Crane
got-
said to say hi to you.
Who's this?
Harry Crane.
Oh yeah, hey Harry.
What's up,
Yeah.
Harry?
Yeah, so we we had a really good race out there, and we got to help a lot of people out, and I think that's why we get a lot of a lot of business is just because we're there.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to run all the redemption, all the DSMP. We're going to be up at Topma as much as possible.
Very cool.
And support those guys. And then wherever else we go, like this weekend really wasn't on our plan. We got a 22 weekend schedule, and this weekend wasn't even on that plan. So we're going to. Niser's got a 598 over there for me, and we're going to try to. Maybe do
That you-
something in the future.
598, you might
yeah.
be able to run 580s on motor then.
I would hope that I would run a lot faster than 580.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not in my car.
Oh.
So small tire is definitely
Where it's at.
something that I'm looking at. Yeah.
Very
Big
cool.
race
Yeah.
coming up, pays $100,000 to win in
It's-
Shreveport. Small
Hey, and
tire.
the only rule for the car is 28, 10, 5.
Yeah.
There's
So-
a lot of guys going to be there with some stupid cars there on 28, 10, 5s.
Yeah.
Well, like James Kay has got a car, and he's kind of, reeling back Mean Green to the index class
Yeah.
because he won like the last two. I mean, he's banking, on that deal with his index skills.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Good
then,
car, good driver for sure.
he's got something else cooking. We all know he's got something cooking.
Yeah.
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 So-
it'll be green.
Oh, it'll be green. It'll
Yeah.
be green. Yeah, he's got something coming. So, once we get the motor, then you can't do anything without a motor. I buy a car, then what?
Yeah.
I got a car. No, I want a motor. I want the power, and then we'll figure out what we can put it in. Who knows?
How's Mark Salisbury doing?
He's doing good. He's doing real good. He had a bad year last year. He burned his stuff all the way to the ground. Recovered. Got a new truck. Got a new trailer. Got a Wally Stoop car, and then the wishbone broke, and he ran it into the wall. Just a fierce competitor, and works at DaVinci, and he's working hard to get that back together. Bruce Ainsworth and those guys are out there. They're doing the fiberglass work on the front, and he'll be back next year, and he'll be on the tour with the Redemption, Dirty South,
Yeah.
No Prep, that kind of.
So you got about 6 guys, right, that are going to do all the index racing at the Redemption, Dirty South. You're going to try to hit all those?
Yeah, rounded up about 8 of us that are
8
going
of
to try to travel together.
So you're going to have a whole index team.
James Few is one of them, right?
Yeah.
He's
James
putting a new
Few.
rear end under
Yeah,
his
he's
car,
putting a
so.
new rear end. Yeah,
Billy Holmes,
Billy Holmes. Yeah,
Robert Erdialis.
Robbie. Yeah, Robert Urdialis. Yeah, if I can say that right.
Erdialis.
Yeah.
Urdialis.
No Dutch
So-
in that group. All
No,
good
no,
racers.
they're all good guys.
Is
And-
this Team DaVinci?
No, this
Team
isn't.
Texas.
We haven't really. I really haven't come out with anything like that. I just contacted 8 solid, good racers that have the ability to do the traveling.
You need
and
to
they're committed.
name it Index this.
Yeah.
What's that? It'd be the Index Group.
Right. Well, it's good if we can all travel together and we can all
Pit together.
pit together, and then we bring a show.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I love announcing the index classes.
yeah.
For one, dude, especially at like Top Mo, when you have 3 index classes and there's 30 to 35 cars, sometimes 50 cars
my
in a
God,
class.
I know.
And they don't break, they don't purge for hours, they don't wave the doors for hours
Yeah.
at the starting line. They're not banging it through the motor forever.
Just
and
get up there and race. Huh?
they get up there, they burn out, they back up, they purge it a couple times if they need to, and then they
race.
race.
Most of them are all wheels up, and the crowd loves to see that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's just one after another, bam,
Right.
bam, bam, bam.
And usually it's really close racing.
Yeah.
after I did that monster wheelie, I mean, they panned over the crowd on that deal, and I mean, the crowd went wild. I mean, they come to see stuff like that. I mean,
I
they
think
come to
you
see,
were the biggest wheel stand of the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
by far.
yeah, no
By
doubt.
far.
I didn't
No
see
doubt.
anybody else standing up like that. So there was some others that left with the wheels. Now, the coolest wheelie you don't get. You got the baddest wheelie,
the highest for sure.
the highest,
Vegas.
the biggest wheelie.
which I'm not proud of.
Jason Cantu rode
Wow.
a wheelie in the S10 for 200 to 300 feet, dude.
That
thing
truck was
came up and it
rolling.
just stayed like an X275 car. And he was like, okay, it's not down yet. It's not down yet. Oh, crap. Is it down yet? No, it's not down yet. And he couldn't do anything. And he won.
That truck was rolling,
Yeah.
buddy. He has
They got
got
it
that
going.
thing going.
They got it
Victoria's
going.
dad, yeah, with
Yeah.
the turbos in the bed.
Yeah, I'm
hey,
telling
where's Michael Cole at? There he is. Get the
Michael-
camera.
Michael Henson, what's up?
Yeah,
bud?
he's over there dreaming in that Corvette. Absolutely. Well, I got to say, Doug, you did an excellent job this weekend. I
He
just
did,
thought
didn't
he
he? I
did
said,
an
dude, you were
excellent
entertaining.
job.
I don't know, about 10 or 15,000 people, and there was
Yeah.
and while you was announcing the race, it was going on behind you.
Yeah.
You did good.
And-
I
and-
appreciate it, guys.
He wore this really nice blue shirt. I mean, some kind of designer shirt. I don't know where you're going with that, but you could see him in the crowd. I mean, everybody else is wearing black like we do.
Hold on,
but,
Michael, hold on.
But
You could chill for a minute. We're going to call Wes right now.
He was wearing this nice blue shirt. Looked very professional. Did a great job.
Yep.
Very, very entertaining. Very knowledgeable.
Look sharp.
Wes, are
came
you
out
there?
again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hang on.
You got Wes.
He's coming up. There he is. Turn your phone to the side. There we go. Full screen there. Good afternoon, Westbuck. Or good evening, Westbuck.
Yeah, hey man, what's going on?
You can't see me because I didn't bring my webcam.
Oh, I was wondering, like, what's going on? I can't see anybody else. What's happening?
Sorry, I got Bob Galletti and Dan DaVinci of DaVinci Carburetors here.
What's up, Wes?
Hey,
Hey,
Wes.
hey, what's going on, guys? Just swinging and ducking. I'm out here in Southern California. It's just finished up a long day at the SEMA media conferences. I'll show you guys. We got the 55 freeway off behind me here.
Oh, that's
It's,
cool. How's the weather?
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so nice here. I call it the movie set, man. Southern California, there's nothing quite like this place. It's like probably 65 or 68 right now, just perfect. It's this place. I understand why people move here and never leave, and I also understand why it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah, because it's beautiful. They don't have any weather there.
They don't, man. It's just It's a wild, wild place to be, man. But yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the SEMA MPMC conference. It's the Motorsports Parts Manufacturers Council conference. It's about 3 full days of meetings out here where basically magazine and media types come out here and we meet with performance manufacturers. So, I mean, everyone from Edelbrock and Aeromotive to Champion Motor Oils to Lucas Oil to Race Pack to Dave Vassar and Nitrous Outlet. There are just tons of, I think over 100 high-performance manufacturers come out here and they set up shop in hotel rooms, like in suites. They bring like a scaled-down version of their PRI or SEMA show display,
Right.
and they set it up in these hotel room suites. And then members of the media, such as myself and my guys at Drag Illustrated and Bobby Bennett from Competition Plus and everybody else, as well as like Jeep and off-road magazines and diesel magazines and everything else, we get a schedule at the beginning of the week, and every 30 minutes from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., we have a meeting. So you go to, like, my day started in room 204, and then in 30 minutes I got to go to room 428, and then in 30 minutes I go to room 505, and you get a lunch break, but it's literally, it's like hot rod speed dating. It's the craziest thing.
It's like when my kids got into high school and we had to visit the teachers the first week of school.
Yeah, it's the wildest thing. We started coming to this thing several years ago, but it's kind of a unique opportunity because, as you guys know who go to PRI and go to SEMA, those events are so busy and so crowded that it's hard to spend any like real quality one-on-one time with people. So at this deal, you get a chance to sit down, not always with owners of companies, but a lot of times with the owners of companies or people in the marketing department, and they can tell you like, hey, here's this new cart we just rolled out, or we're working on this new deal, or we just sponsored this new race series, or whatever. They can kind of tell you what's important to them, and you can go to work trying to help them, promote those things or tell those stories. So it's a long week, though. I mean, like I said, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. nonstop.
For a week?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Wow.
Monday's kind of like a planning day, and Fridays everybody's getting the hell out of here.
Gotcha. Maybe one day the Thunder Road Show will be at that level where we get to come and do cool stuff like that with media.
You guys would fit in perfectly out here, man. I mean, you guys should be here. It's honestly, this is a little bit of a kind of a, I would say, not like a closely guarded secret, but it's not super well known or publicized. I'm kind of surprised that there aren't more people just going crazy to get here. But I mean, you just bump into a lot of people that are movers and shakers, and being in this part of the country, a lot of these magazines especially are based out of this part of the country. So it's a cool deal, man. I mean, you get to go see all the guys. We're actually going to dinner tonight with Steve Wolcott, Mike Galemi, and all the guys from NMCA and NMRA. So we're big fans of everything they've got going on. The NMCA and NMRA, they got big things going on in 2018 on the heels of a killer year in 2017. So we're excited to go be a part of that, go to dinner with them, hang out, talk shop. You kind of get to find out what everybody's working on or what they got in store for the year. I'm going to go back in my room here.
Your suite. Got the palatial suite for Drag Illustrated?
Man. Yeah, no. I'll show you guys here. I'll show you. Will this thing let me flip my camera around?
I'm sure.
Hold on. I'll show you guys, and you can see. This is actually a pretty cool view.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So those are all the hotel rooms, right? And everybody, like, kind of puts their banners up. You know what I mean? And, like, each one of those, I mean, you can see, Edelbrock, Champion, Edelbrock, Russell, Eibach, MSD, Curry, Falcon Tires, Fidanza, Aeromotive, Gibson Exhaust. And I'm trying to show you all of them. But anyways, like the first several floors of the hotel are made up of people in these suites. So it's a pretty cool deal, man.
That is pretty awesome. Hey, I didn't get to tell you yet. I got hired today to do the Carcraft Magazine Midnight Drags at Bowling Green, Kentucky this year as an announcer.
Congratulations, man. That's great news.
That's a big deal. A lot of history with that thing. So.
Oh, absolutely, man. Dude, Carcraft Magazine, that's one of those like legacy titles, iconic magazines that have project cars and engine builds that will, never die.
For sure.
So that's a huge deal, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Lonnie Grimm, my good buddy Lonnie Grimm referred me for that. And Brian Lowens, who's there with you, I think, at that deal.
Yeah, Brian's here. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, we tied one on last night. We were out till every bit of midnight or a little later. This place is funny because like the hotel bar becomes like the most happening place on the planet. Everybody's in there, and I'll admit it's a little weird because it's like people that do business and compete against one another technically and stuff, but you're all lumped in here, so you don't have any choice but to like hang out and talk and shoot the shit. It's kind of an interesting thing. But we were sitting around last night kind of. I'm the eternal optimist, no question about it, especially when it comes to drag racing. But we were kind of sitting around mourning the loss of Englishtown Raceway Park. That's weighing heavy on a lot of people, man. That affects tons and tons of hardcore racers. But we were sitting around kind of reminiscing because I'm as bummed as I am about losing that track. I'm so grateful for all the experiences that I had there. I mean, some of my favorite racing stories and experiences took place at Englishtown, and yeah, man, it's sad, but I'm excited. I'm glad I got to experience it.
I got a great story about Englishtown. Well, before I get to that though, I have to say it sucks that such a huge market is losing a track. But I got to go there when I was about 3 or 4 years old. My dad ran a modified Eliminator car, and he had a ramp truck. And kids couldn't go to that track. You couldn't be there if you were under 18. We had to hide down in the floorboard of that truck, and he would pull it up towards the guardrail or, by the fence so we could just look over the dash and see and watch when he was running and watch the cars go by. So that was one of the first places I ever went.
Man, they still to this day, right up until the very end, Englishtown was strict on their rules, man. That was like the only downside was that if you didn't have the right wristband or the right sticker or dot or freaking whatever, you weren't getting into anywhere, honestly. They made it super difficult. That's one of the things that I hated about it. But yeah, there's tons of stories about kids, especially like all my buddies in the pro mod ranks. Several of those guys have young kids, 10, 12, 13 years old. And that track is operated like almost entirely during major events by the New Jersey State Police.
Oh, wow.
So if they saw young kids or anybody that didn't look like they were older than 18 on a golf cart or in a tow vehicle, I saw them one time pull a kid that was like 12 or 13 years old out of a Suburban. That was like parked up like in the staging lanes, and they're like, no, not a chance. He's got to go. And I'm like, he's in a Suburban. He's fine. But no, that's not happening, man. Not happening. But it's a sad deal,
Yeah. So 2018 is upon us. The race season is upon us. We had Clay Millican on earlier. I have my buddy Dan DaVinci. We're talking about what's going on, what's new with Drag Illustrated, what big things. We know we have World Series of Pro Mod coming up. Deuce, the second version of World Series of Pro Mod. But what else with Drag Illustrated are we going to be expecting?
Honestly, doubling down. That's really what we kind of look at 2018 as an opportunity to just really double down and focus on what we love and what we do best, and that's drag racing. I think that there's this notion of, I think a lot of people get lost chasing the proverbial next level. Like, we got to take this thing to the next level or whatever. And in the process of seeking out the next level, it's kind of that old adage of throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that we continue to cement ourselves as the #1 drag racing media outlet. We want to tell the stories of racers far and wide. We want to go to more events in 2018. We have a couple of big announcements that are going to be rolling out here, hopefully still before the end of first quarter 2018. We started this magazine 12 years ago with an expressed purpose of growing and building the sport of drag racing. And I think it sounds kind of cliche or whatever, but we mean it. I mean it. I truly believe that it's our responsibility to preserve and grow this industry. And I don't think there are enough people at the top of this industry or in positions of power that are interested in that. I think it's more about maintaining the status quo and making big money and staring at spreadsheets. And I want to grow and build the sport of drag racing, spread the gospel of straight line motorsports. And that's what we're about in 2018. And we're going to roll out some stuff here in the very near future that I think is going to cater to those goals. We just believe we need more open conversation. We need track promoters working together. A high tide lifts all boats. We need guys not scheduling events on top of each other. We need big time track promoters helping small track promoters. We need, and everything in between. We need guys that questions being answered, questions being asked. And we want to create some of those pathways and start some of those conversations. As you said, we, of course, are going to do the second annual Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod. Vandermeer Speedway, August 10th and 11th, 2018. We're super excited about that. I just got a call earlier this afternoon from a friend of mine that informed me Derek Menholt, who actually won the Aeromotive wildcard shootout at the Vandermeer this past August, our 10,000 to win shootout on Friday night. Derek's bought all the Pro Line Hemi stuff of Troy Coughlin's team from the Jegs Pro Mod team, has already enlisted the services of Steve Petty to tune his car at the World Series of Pro Mod, and basically is going to test all year until August and show up in Denver intending on winning $100,000. And for me, as a promoter and just a person or whatever else, to have a racer buying parts, making huge investments, hiring top-tier talent, all in an effort to win our race, that's like that's the ultimate home run. That's the ultimate validation that it means something to these people. Of course, I know Mike Bowman is going to be there to say something about that, to defend his title. Working hard to get some nitrous cars lined up with the NHRA rules that were announced over the off-season about nitrous cars being allowed a lock-up torque converter. I really think we're going to see a couple of nitrous cars on the mountain come August, which will be exciting, kind of add to that black hats and white hats and everything in between, good guys and bad guys. So, yeah, man, just growing and building the sport of drag racing. I think that what you guys do here on the Thunder Road Show, man, keeping the conversation going. We just got to keep the pot stirred up, keep spreading the good word.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. And that's why I told Clay, with all the negativity going on, we wanted to have you on because you're always such a positive force in the world of drag racing and the drag racing community. So we appreciate it. We just
love this stuff, man. We love it the same way you do. And we want to see it grow. I don't want just a bigger piece of the pie necessarily. I want to grow the pie for everyone. I want to see this industry grow. And I think everything that's happened, the big no prep movement, the explosion of the street outlaws, I believe pro mod racing in general is enjoying a huge uptick, and likely in large part to the street outlaws, like it or not. Big Chief, spewing pro mod every other word for a couple of years certainly didn't hurt us.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things going on. Top Sportsman and Top Dragster. Those classes enjoyed record fields in PDRA competition last year. So there's a lot of good stuff happened. But I think that cynicism and negativity, that stuff's easy. Right? It's so readily available. It's so easy to find bad news because people like to spread it, man. People like to spread bad news because it's easy, and it's actually part of our
human nature,
DNA.
Yeah.
But I think that we have an obligation to spread the good word, man. I'm telling you what, there are companies. I had 12, 15 meetings today, and every company I talked to, double-digit growth in 2017. Growing, sponsoring events. I talked to an oil company a few minutes ago that sponsored 130 sprint car races last year.
Wow.
And you think about that, that's incredible, and that's such great news to hear. So lots of people trying to grow, lots of people trying to be aggressive and make a statement in 2018, and I hope Drag Illustrated is amongst that crowd.
Great product placement, by the way.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you just need to drink a Drag Illustrated latte coffee.
I wish I had one. I wish I had something. I don't have anything. I need to make a run to the store.
Well, the bar's open downstairs, isn't it?
Yeah, right? You could get a mimosa or something down there. Is that what they drink out there in L.A., mimosas?
Yeah, a bunch of frou-frou stuff like that. We went to a restaurant last night, and everything's organic and has all these fancy French words, I think, in front of them. It's la, 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 steak and potatoes. It's just so California. It's painful, man. It's painful. But we did, do you guys have In-N-Out down there?
No.
We have one in Austin.
Yeah, we have one in Austin.
Okay.
I've been there. I'm not a big fan.
Over lunch, though.
You don't
like it?
We have Whataburger, so nothing could compare to Whataburger.
It's a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had Whataburger. Are they like really thick ones or thin?
They're not huge thick, but they just have a big bun, and there's just a well
They
built
got butter on them
Huh?
or something? Do they put butter on them or something weird? Or?
No, that's not somebody else.
They're hot and made to order. They're
Hot and
awesome.
made to order, so it's fresh when you get it.
Yeah.
But
It ain't
it's-
fast food sitting there when you walk up.
yeah.
Okay.
But your
Well,
hair's on.
what's the event in Texas that I should go to this year? Like other than like an NHRA race, what's like the can't miss deal in Texas that I need to go to?
You're gonna miss it because it's the $102,000 to win, $100,002 to win
That's
small
not
tire event.
That's not in Texas.
Oh yeah, that's in Louisiana now. It was in Texas.
I would say the debut of the Midwest Pro Mod Series at Extreme Raceway Park.
Yeah, extreme. Galen Smith and Clyde Scott, a couple of pro mod racers, building a new track in Ennis.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah.
So that would
I'm
be.
gonna be there. I mean, there's like that's the goal is to be there. I actually have a pretty cool offer to maybe drive a car there, a top flight car, and I may do that.
Wow, that's cool. I'm gonna be announcing a bunch of top races
is it
there
a
this
rental
year.
car, one of the top flight rental
Top
cars.
A top flight like nitrous pro mod.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go to Frank Harley School and get your license for pro mod or what?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'll probably get, if everything goes to plan, I'll get licensed before then. But yeah, tentatively that's the plan at the moment.
Well,
So,
that's cool. If I'm not booked, I'll come up there and hang out with you.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be a
Be
good
there
time.
anyway.
That would be great to see.
Everybody going to Valdosta?
No, I'm doing what is it called? Valentine's Day Massacre 20,000 to win small tire in Edinburgh, Texas on Saturday.
I'm
Oh,
thinking
sweet.
I'm thinking about going to Valdosta though.
He's gonna
Oh,
go
you
hang out
gotta
with
go.
Kenny Hubbard, eat some egg rolls.
Yeah.
I would love to be
I'll
there,
for
but
that. The pancake,
And
that
the
was the
hamburger.
deal.
the hamburger
pancake
is
was
the
the
bomb
deal.
too. Kenny Hanna does it up right, no matter what he's cooking.
He does, man. He does, dude.
I
What
had
a great guy.
I had so much fun at Lights Out 8. I'm a little sad I'm going to miss it, but I'm getting booked, and when you're getting paid, you can't miss out on that, you know?
No, absolutely, man. And you got to keep doing that. You kind of like got to keep. I'm telling you, man, doing those races and keeping your name out there and staying fresh on the mic. I mean, you got to do that. That's good. I'm glad you're doing that.
Appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it. So,
Okay, man.
we got to run. We got to do a walk around of
got a hard out,
convertible
everybody.
Corvette for about 2 minutes, and then we got a hard out because we have to get shut down before they close the dealership down at 9. We're at a Westside Chevrolet here in Katy, Texas.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go do a burnout or something.
Well,
See
no,
you
we
guys
can't do
later.
that, but we could do a walk around with a camera and show this beautiful white convertible Z06 Stingray here.
Do a burnout.
Okay, yeah, right. Hey, you're killing it with the burnouts, by the
Dude,
way.
that is
There's,
awesome.
There's
yeah.
probably a lockbox behind a desk somewhere with
Yeah.
the keys in it.
Oh, he's got the
Do
key
a
in his
burnout.
hand, but I think they would kick
Okay.
us out and they wouldn't pay us to come back, and they're paying us to come back right now.
Yeah, it'd be our last
It's okay.
show.
And every time you do a burnout, an angel gets her wings.
Oh,
Tell them
that's
that.
right.
It works every time.
Is that
See you guys.
even if you're with in a Mustang?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
tragically.
Tragically. Hey, thanks a lot, Westbuck. Thanks
you,
for taking
guys.
the time,
See you,
dude.
fellas.
All right,
Good job,
bye.
Wes. Mosier Engineering bringing us Wes Buck.
Oh, wait, I didn't even ask him. It says it's his birthday today.
No way.
I meant
Happy
to say
birthday,
that because
Wes Buck.
Well, happy birthday.
Good deal. So Michael Cole's gonna do a walk around here at Westside Chevrolet. This beautiful Z06. Get her done.
Michael Cole, the bearded wonder. So tell us about this Z06. Why is it cool? It's just because it's a
pretty cool
Z06?
because the fact that it's, well, a Z06.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like, choosing a Z06 is like between blonde, brunette, redhead. It's a win-win situation either way you go. And as if the Corvette wasn't already sexy enough, we at Westside Chevrolet have a drop top one here. And this is actually pretty significant because it has, as you can see, these seats have massive bolsters to them. These are the GT seats. These are an option. And these hug you unlike almost any other seat I've been in a production.
Is that the
vehicle.
Grand Touring seats?
The Grand Touring seats are the base model ones, and these are the GT seats. So these are the bad boys. Of course, The LT4, 650 plus horsepower, 650 plus foot-pounds of torque. It makes a really nice sound every time you fire it up. Bald eagles come out the back. And it scares, anytime ISIS is within a couple hundred miles, it automatically scares them away.
Awesome. Paul
Nothing
Brent
is
wants to
more
know what's the
American
sticker price on
than
it.
a Corvette. Now, you would think, oh, okay, this has got to be, $120,000, $130,000. And that's where you would be wrong. This one is, standard is $83,000, total vehicle price, $94,000. Come and get you some fun. I'll even let you know that the wife okayed it. She called. She says, "Come on down. Come on, get it." Of course, at Westside Chevrolet. I mean, that's just kind of a given.
94,000.
We love Westside Chevrolet, and $15,000 off on pickups. So if you need a new tow pig or a daily,
That is
$15,000
sweet.
off
That is
on the trucks.
man, and
Honestly,
if you
this
come
is
up and
gonna
bring up Thunder Roadshow, they may even knock a little off that Z06
Right?
that's been sitting on the showroom a couple days. So, yeah,
Thanks, Westside Chevrolet, for having us. Thanks, Phil's Trailer Sales and DaVinci Carburetors.
absolutely.
And also
Moser
Moser Engineering and Nitrous Outlet
Yes.
for making this happen.
Nitrous
Bringing
Outlet's
y'all
going to have some awesome
Roadshow.
stuff coming out in 2018. They showed it at PRI, a new nitrous plate that has got everybody pissed off.
Uh-oh.
So they're going to
That's
have
good.
they're going to do some big things. Expect some big things in X275 coming up with JD Campbell, who's a Nitrous Outlet product.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I think at Lights Out 9, you'll see some interesting stuff.
What an awesome video.
JD Campbell went a 440.
Really?
Yes,
What an awesome video that Free Life Films did for him
yes.
for last year,
Yeah.
year in review.
So he
we didn't
finally
even
got
say
the
bye to
40s.
Dan Cruz.
I guess
He
so.
bailed.
He bailed out and didn't even say goodbye. But
All
hey,
right.
thank y'all for tuning in to the Thunder Road Show. It feels good to be home. No
Yeah.
snow, and I'm in the country or in the state, the
Yeah.
country of Texas.
Right.
Thanks for holding down the fort while I was gone.
You got it.
You guys did a wonderful job. I didn't get to tell you that
Thank you.
on the air, but you and Chris Monahan.
Monahan
and,
did a great job.
Yeah.
Yep.
That buttery smooth voice. But hey, thank you for tuning in to the Thunder Road Show. We started 15 minutes late. We're ended on time.
Thunder Road Show. Out.
Out. Bye.